Oh shoot, my bad, guys. I'm a little late today. I had to finish dinner, and yeah, but here I am. Yeah, thanks everyone for showing up. That's here. Just doing a quick little. I was gonna do like a video, but I figured I'd invite some friends and see if they show up. Which just sounds like that doesn't look or it looks like Fedora's gonna come through in a little bit. Always willing to share some content and info with him, and I hope he'll enjoy what I have to show or kind of go over with him. And I hope everyone who's watching tonight live on the show, I got some pretty cool pickups to show off to y'all. I don't know if this one's gradable, but it is cool nonetheless. And I paid a pretty penny for this freaking amazing ass magazine. So anyway, happy Tuesday. I got jury duty this week, so I'm really hoping they do not pick me because I do not want to do that. That jury selection, it's for a pretty intense crime. Let's just say that. But say what's up to the two people we got on the show. What's up, Brad? Always good to see you. I will be in Orlando at the end of the month. I'll try and hit you up then. Derek, what's going on, brother? So a little bit of a market report, more of like a discussion point. I again, like I was saying, I was gonna do like a live or not, just like a regular video, but it's always kind of fun to do like more. Hey, what do you think about this? Or am I crazy thinking that kind of thing? So that's why I kind of wanted to have a couple people on the show live on a Tuesday evening, and yeah, amazing ass magazine or amazing ass magazine. I don't know. You tell me. Anyway, I'll wait for the homie to get into the show today. Fedora's said he's going to be coming through in a little bit, so we'll just wait for him. And if we get 42 people, I'm giving away this box of cards here. But we're not going to get 42 people. So anyway, Krusty Burger OG, yes, that's correct. I'm curious. So like the majority of like so kind of in general, like magazines are kind of a newer thing for me, but I felt that it's more of it's a more intense kind of like search for like first appearances, first cameo, or like first in the guts type thing. There's a lot of data to sift through, and I would say that there's more info to kind of go over because of AI, because of search. ChatGPT has been a great assist resource to find out what magazines to look out for. Yesterday, I was kind of doing a small little dive into Stranger Things first appearance or first mention in a magazine, and it ended up being like Vanity Fair or Variety, I think is what it was, but I couldn't find it anywhere because it was a special promo. But yeah, the tough thing with magazines is one, the turnaround times are pretty bad, but then two, some stuff is too big to get graded. Like for example, I have a couple O'Neill Cruz Baseball America magazines, and it's one of the first appearances, but for sure like his first cover, and there's no way to get it graded. So that's kind of frustrating. A lot of foreign magazines, which I'll show you guys in a second here, they're also not gradable because they're too big. And then just what if we get two people? What if we got two people? That would be pretty cool. The other thing too is like a lot of like Japanese first appearances, especially if you're looking at video games, which I'll show you in a second. They're from Japan, and so you have to pay tariffs, which however you feel about tariffs, I mean, that's cool, but like kind of sucks to have to pay tariffs and then like get stalled. And then who knows about like packaging? I mean, obviously we get a bunch of eBay stuff or buy all our stuff on eBay. But like, it just kind of, it's a tougher kind of thing, right? Because, and there's like, you can categorize things, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of nice. You can kind of create like the market yourself, right? And there's Zorro in the background. He's licking his toes. Like you can do first appearances in America. Like I have my first appearance of Sonic in an American magazine, but his first appearance in a magazine in general is, I'll show you guys in a second. Actually, I bought this today from the research I've done. Right. And then you could do like first, I don't know, like there's just so many categories you can do there. You can do first cover, which is probably an easier one. I would say right now that the market's more geared towards like, what's the first cover? Like the first Shohei Ohtani on on Sports Illustrated. That's like one. The first mention article of Otani in a Sports Illustrated or an American magazine. There's like in easy ones are like the first Game Informer or the first Game Pro or the first Nintendo magazine, which we'll get into that. And then like, is the first Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation mentioned worth something, or the first Metal Gear Solid in general? So there's just so many different variants, and like the market's so just like early. And I don't know if he's going to come through the chat, but Blue Green's very specific on like, yeah, the market doesn't really like first appearances or first cameos like the comic market may, but you can still like take out the page of that said magazine and get that grade or get that framed, and that may be like an alternative to it. But nonetheless, I'll get into kind of what the market report that I have here for you guys today, and we'll go over a couple of pickups. I have about 3 I wanted to show off in the stream tonight, and then from there, ask questions. I know we only got like 3 people in the chat today, and do a very good job of like really advertising this, but I don't really care. I just wanted to put something out there for people to look at. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, here we go. So first off, just a market report for this. It's gonna be really basic, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already know kind of how like about these magazines. So it's not gonna be into a lot of new stuff, but there were maybe a few things that you're just, oh, that's kind of cool. But nonetheless, like you'll notice that the market for a lot of these is pretty high, and then the other half is like really low. So it's definitely a buy and wait kind of situation, because like, yeah, I mean, you'll see. So first off, I just want to talk about Nintendo Power number 1. This is like kind of a mainstay, an easy one, I think, for any nostalgia and any like newer Nintendo players. 9.0 sold for 2,000, which is really high in my opinion, in a good way. So I would say like the one thing about video game magazines compared to like sports magazines for me is that it's kind of like Pokemon. Like these guys are never gonna be in jail for murder or for child molestation or anything like that, right? So it's a little bit safer of an investment. And I mean, Nintendo in general, even though it's like not Zelda, which is probably like the marquee brand of Nintendo, it's still going to have some weight to it as far as collectability is concerned. It's pure nostalgia. They don't make this magazine anymore. Obviously you want to get a newsstand if you can, but subscriptions don't do too bad either. And I would recommend, unless you can get the whole entire like address off, leave it. Just leave it. It's not worth having to deal with like any like rips or potential like, damage to the magazine itself. So hold on one second, guys. I'm just gonna do this real quick. Everyone, we are live. But yeah, I just think that's it's pretty important to have that kind of like whatever. So hold on, we live. Let's see here. All right, what's the next mag I got? Okay. All right, next up we got Weekly Famitsu number. Let me just grab it. Weekly Famitsu 2017. This is before kind of around the same time that the new Switch came out and Ocarina of Time came out. And this is kind of one of those like passing the mantle off to the old greatest Zelda game of all time to the newest greatest Zelda game of all time. I would say this is like the first cover of Ocarina of Time. It's from Japan, and guess what? I have a copy. I just thought this was like cool. It's not in the greatest condition, and I don't know if I can get this graded, but I definitely do need to get it pressed. I mean, you will notice here, right? It's a little bit bent, and a lot of times when you get something from foreign like countries, they may not really send it in the best packaging ever. But nonetheless, like I'm not really trying to get 9.8s because the one thing about magazines, it's really hard to get a 9.8 like a 9.8 is like a 10.0, and then so on. I don't think regular collectors understand that yet, because I would say that like a 9.0 is still treated like a 9.0 in like in comic books. And yeah, it is a thick boy, right? I don't know if this is gradable either, so that does kind of suck. But maybe I'll check with CBCS to see it get graded. But yeah, it is definitely a thick boy for sure. But $49.99 for last sold. I remember when I was first researching this specific magazine, it was going for like people are asking like $300 for it, but I think there's just not enough knowledge or just like notability for this particular magazine because it's foreign, it's a Japanese magazine. Maybe people don't know about it, and that's what I'm hoping that comes out of this channel today. But nonetheless, man, like right now for me, I just like collecting this stuff and just, you know, I wouldn't say I haven't gotten like a lot of heat, but I've gotten a lot of like pushback for, man, those first appearances don't really do it for me. But I do enjoy it. So I'm just gonna keep doing it until maybe, who knows? You know, maybe the market's just gonna be like first cover and that's just gonna be it. But I think it's a lot more fun and interesting to try and find the first appearance like in an article. And it's kind of tough. I've been incorrect in some cases, but it's also nice to really be segmented on what you're trying to collect too. So on to the next. So this one's kind of a cool one. And I think what fails with this particular Time magazine Pokemon cover is that you have him. I don't even know what the name of this character is, but it's Time magazine Pokemon from 1999. I don't believe it's a first because I think I did find the first Pokemon in a, what's up, Fedora?
Yo,
inside?
I'm not inside. I'm outside, baby. Come on. Listen. If you viewing this, you already know. I'ma always be outside on this for the nerd platform. If I'm on somebody else's podcast, I'll probably be inside.
All right. Well, thanks for coming through, bro. I know this is kind of like a last minute thing. I almost wasn't gonna do the show yesterday, and I was like, fuck it. Let's just like bullshit or whatever, and all that good stuff. But this is actually good timing for you, bro, because like, in this particular like Pokemon Time magazine, I remember seeing this magazine for like $18 like 3 years ago, and it was a subscription. I knew about it, but you know, I didn't give a lot of. I don't really give so much respect to this magazine just because the cover was specific to this particular Pokemon.
I'm not gonna lie, that cover is ugly.
It's ugly as hell, right? And I mean, they should put Charizard or like Mewtwo as like the, you know, front and center, or even like Blastoise, who knows, right? But here's the crazy thing, man: $250 with the poster for Raw, and a 5/5 subscription sold for $650.
650 beans?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
It's one of those things where like, I think, you know, with Time magazine being what it is, right? And like just I remember when this came out, like, I don't remember when this particular issue came out, but I remember in 1999, you know, Pokemon was just like firing on all cylinders, man. It's the craziest like thing ever. And the fact that Pokemon was on Time magazine, I think that's pretty significant because I can't think of like a kid's game at its peak being on Time magazine. I may be wrong on that. I don't really collect Time magazine in particular, but
the only thing that I would think of was like Super Mario.
Yeah. And I don't know, like I don't know if it may be possible that Super Mario made it, but like the fact that this was such a kiddie game to be on Time magazine, it's pretty impressive, to be honest. But
people didn't even know it was a game at that time.
Yeah, because like it was more so like a TV show, right?
Well, it was a game first, but then
it was a game first.
But when the TV show came out, most people assumed that the TV show was first and the game.
Yeah.
But most adults, when I was a kid, they only knew the show. They didn't really understand. They knew the show and the cards, like the games they weren't too familiar with.
Now, did the cards come out first and then the video games, or vice versa?
That I don't remember, because I mean, I got into Pokemon cards as like the trend was dying when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So maybe like there was like a very brief period I got into them, and it was 1999. So, and then Yu-Gi-Oh came out, and then I never looked back. So sure. I can't really say. I knew I played the games on Game Boy a lot, but it was the Pokemon game on Game Boy, and then it was Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I didn't do the Pokemon card. It was strictly Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I remember. I remember when Yu-Gi-Oh came out. Like everyone was like, "Oh man, this is like Pokemon for older kids." And I liked the mechanics of the game. Like because I was still like I was still into Magic back then. Um, but and then like I mean Pokemon, everyone all the kids just grew up. They were like, I'm done with these like stupid little like cartoon characters. Like I want to graduate to the next game. So that's cool. But yeah, crazy. I mean, if you guys ever see this, like here's the thing too about magazines, right? Like there's so much like concentration on Pokemon cards and comics, like even right. But
Not even comics. I think in our circle we
yeah,
concentrate a lot on comics,
yeah,
but I think because I'm friends with a lot of people that don't give a shit about comics at
comics,
all.
yeah,
Yeah, so I I think that we're still in a niche area, and hopefully, I know this is about magazines, but Absolute Batman. I mean, if it can, hopefully, it breaks us out of
yeah.
that stratosphere. But we can continue.
Well, so like just in general, and I mean like small sample size, right? Like when I look at like Facebook Marketplace, for example, and people are like, "Oh, I have a comic book lot," and it's like one Deadpool book, or like it's not even like a first appearance of Deadpool; it's just a Deadpool book, right? They want $100 for it, but if I look up the same kind of general search for like a magazine lot, for example, right? Um, it's like
They be having some heat, bro.
magazines.
And these magazine lots, you remember that time I bought the magazine lot because of this one book that I wanted,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
the dude was like, "Oh yeah, I put that up years ago. I don't even have those books anymore."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like these lots be having heat. They be having crazy
Interesting.
shit. Like
Because I
that's what I was doing.
because like here it's like just like take them out of my basement. I don't even want them. It's a different kind of assumption, I guess. Like we're here, but now with that said, it's like comic books are specific to just like there's like how many publishers, right? Versus like magazines, it's like it could be video games, it could be sports, it could be tech shit. So it's just a broad kind of like scope, right? The magazines I'm talking about today, there's a couple that are like current events and whatnot, but there's a lot more to do with like video games because I think for me that's the easiest thing to like look out for, and it's more what I'm into anyway. So um
I've been into like the Fangoria stuff.
yeah, see, like, and that's what's cool, man. Because like I see Fangoria every once in a while, but like I don't see it very often. When I do see it, it's pretty cheap. Like you can get it for like $2 here and there, but I don't know enough to like really just scoop them up, and in some cases like they're not in the best condition, but like not a lot of people know about Fangoria, but there's potential there too. So
There's only like two that go for crazy amounts of money, but
yeah,
I I've been looking into it because
hmm
we get them at my job every now
yeah,
and again.
sure,
And the last few Fangorias we've had, people were calling about them on the phone.
hmm
And like customers that I know who never care about Fangoria were calling
hmm
like, "Yo, you got the Fangoria?" It was when the cover of Art the Clown came out for
yeah,
Fangoria, I
yeah.
bought it immediately. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna." But they're mad expensive, bro. Like off the rack,
Mhm.
it was like $18,
Yeah, it's
and I'm
nice,
like,
thick. It's that UK paper. I know it's made in the UK, but like, is that
"It's
gradable? Can you grade a Fangoria?
yeah." I seen the Megan's Body Fangoria. I seen that one great. That one's like the
Oh,
Grail.
yeah, yeah.
That one's the Grail. That one's the
That
one that everybody pays a lot of money for.
I fit. If I were you, because the Fangoria seems like a pretty limited but like high quality magazine, right? Like, if you ever find the cheap one, I would just like read through it and just see if you can find like a first mention of like a movie or something. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
So the thing with that was that the one that came out after that one was Sinners, and then everybody
oh,
was asking for the Sinners one. But the thing is, like, when the way that we put them out, because they're
hmm
magazines again, like the staff doesn't care. They don't
yeah,
really know about magazines. They're
yeah,
always damaged when they
yeah,
put them on the rack.
yeah,
So
yeah.
unless what?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Go ahead. You're saying?
No, I'm saying like unless you have like a subscription, but then
Yeah.
the whole thing gets fucked up because when you get to subscriptions,
hmm
you get like a special subscription variant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah,
Which is
it's a
like
whole
could be
thing.
good, could be bad. You know, it just kind of depends, right? And so,
Yeah,
but like I think I see it as like an arbitrage opportunity where like you can kind of like just you can kind of see like, well, here's you know, like because I've seen like I've looked for like subscription specials, right? For let's say PSA, for example, right? Their PSA subscription specials. That's like high level collecting because it's probably gonna be in good condition. It's only exclusive to certain people, and it's like it's not as like, you know how like in comics it's like limited to 1,000 print run. Like
uh-huh.
this is like people who get like people that get subscription variants that have the subscription to the magazine, they're not going to sell them, especially if it's like a One Piece or a Pokemon, like, you know, rarity or anything like that. And I don't know, I think it's cool. Hectic says, I love magazine collecting. Well, man, we're only, I think, fifth. I think we're number 5, or this is like the third slide I made today. But yeah, man, stick around. This is more just like, it's not, I always do like a market report, and there's a little bit of market like kind of stuff in here, but this is more just like
The
information magazine
magazine.
information that may or not have like found out before. Some foreign stuff in here. So yeah, let's just keep cooking. Now here's the other thing too about magazines that I'm finding is a little tough, right? So this Slam magazine by Cooper Flag, right? So this came out like a year or two ago. It's pretty new. A 9.8 newsstand sold for $350. Now I think that's really high. I mean, Cooper Flag could cut his ankle like tomorrow and be out for 2 years, you know, that kind of thing. Or he could be the next Kevin Garnett, you know, that kind of thing. Now, the thing with sports for me is like, and this goes with cards also, is like Jordan's forever going to be forever like great, right? And Kobe is going to be forever like one of the great ones as far as basketball is concerned. But and Shaq maybe, I guess, right? But I there's only so many guys or like athletes for basketball at least that I would want. Like I want to get a Slam Gold version, and I'm gonna use your kind of example. Like I would never get a Slam Gold version of Page, you know, or a Slam Gold version of Shy Alexander, at least today, and because they go for like $1,000 for like, you know, and then on top of that, so kind of what Derek, what you're saying, do mag collectors care about newsstand? 100%. A newsstand, especially newer ones like this guy, they're gonna go for more money because when's the last time y'all went to like Barnes and Noble to get a magazine? And if you do, they don't have as many magazines out there because
We
everything's
only
digital.
get 2 copies of Fangoria.
Exactly. Yeah. Because why is that, Fedora?
Nobody cares.
And nobody does print anymore, man. Everything's digital, right? So it's the whole like with video games, like, you know, everything's gonna go downloads. Like, what was the stat from 2023? It was like 89% of all consumed video games were digital downloads. The other 11% were physical copies, right? So it's that whole thing. I mean, Wemby, I mean, he was out his first year, like for the full year. Luckily, he's doing a lot better now, but like there's just that risk, right? So, yeah, and yeah, Hectic knows mag collectors only care about newsstand, most important thing. I would say for the older stuff, like if I just really wanted something, I'd probably I would just kind of sacrifice or just like, you know, maybe get like a subscription. But definitely, man, if you can get like a nice clean 8.5 like newsstand copy of an older Jordan magazine, you're gonna make good money, man, for sure. It's tough as hell to press magazines compared to comic books too. So and yeah, and here's the thing, Caitlin Clark Slam, that's probably the only WNBA magazine I'll get. So you gonna get the Aki way, bro? Remember that was like tight for like
bro,
ever.
yeah, bro. There used to be like girls that used to message me. Like there was one girl from Chicago, and she was like, "Oh, when I go to New York, we're gonna get like chopped cheese the Aki way." And I'm like, no one fucking says that, guy. No one says that. They'll laugh in your face if you go to any bodega and say it. There's like different bodegas. There's the Hispanic bodega. There's the Poppy.
Yeah.
We got the Ox. We got the
What is an Ock?
like like the Ak is like is the Middle Eastern, like it's the Middle Eastern. It's like the Yemenis.
Oh, okay, okay.
So like the Ak is
That's a good one.
pardon my French. Pardon my French. This is gonna be a first, but like the Ak is the our Middle Eastern word for like you know when we say yo what up my nigga, like that's the Middle Eastern word for them. So
Oh
we
shit!
call them the Ak. Yeah.
I don't
So
think I'll ever say that to a Middle Eastern person. Then.
it's I feel like you could say it and you'll be good
Yeah.
because it doesn't have that weight to it. You know what I mean? So like
Okay.
that was our word for them. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
that's what it was.
See, you come to the channel, like you learn a little bit something, right? Like,
That's New
right.
York history. But
New
yeah,
York
there's
history.
different. There's Mexican delis.
Yeah.
There's Puerto Rican, Dominican delis.
Oh, for sure.
You'll see the poppies in the front playing dominoes with the hookah and shit. There's
Yeah,
the Yemenis
with the cats,
and with the cats and everything. So it's
Yeah.
like you're gonna walk into a poppy restaurant or deli and trust me, a lot of us. I'm Hispanic and I'm part black, part Hispanic. So you walk into the poppy deli, right, and you call one of them Ak, they kind of look Middle Eastern, and then they're gonna be like, "Why are you calling me Ak? Like, what the hell?" You know.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that's why.
yeah.
But anyways, but Cooper Flag is having an amazing year though.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sold on him yet, man. Like, I mean, he's a great player, but like, I don't know, for basketball, for me, like, the last guy that I thought was going to be like great was probably Luka. Luka's like the only
Isn't
one
he
I can
doing
think like.
pretty? Isn't he doing pretty decent? He's doing pretty decent, right? He's
I
on
mean,
Lakers, right?
he's on the Lakers, right? So he's got that going for him. So I think he's doing all right. But like, I mean, as far as like someone to watch and like, oh man, I can't wait till Luka plays, or that particular player plays. Like, he's the only one I can think of, just because he has a different.
I think
game, right?
Bryce James. I think LeBron's youngest son. I think he's gonna be like the guy that everybody. I think he's gonna have like that hype.
Do they have a first magazine with all three of them on the cover?
I wouldn't know. I don't follow basketball like that.
Yeah, see, I don't follow basketball anymore either because, well, we don't got a team. So anyway, but all right, we're gonna talk about that, man. I got all sad now, just all of a sudden. Just kidding. This is so I'm part of a little Instagram group that all we talk about is like magazines, and none of them are in this chat today, which is very, very, very hurtful. I kind of did this for them, but whatever, it is what it is. Just kidding. But they were talking about Star Fox. And I'm not a huge Star Fox fan, but what's cool about like the subject of magazines again, right? Is like
Star
everyone's
Fox peaked at 64.
Would you say?
I said Star Fox peaked at 64.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, then that's the only Star Fox I know, right? So and again, like the thing, it's called Mag Spies, Hectic. Mag Spies is the name of the group. And somebody asked, I think who asked about that shit. Here, let me see. Wasn't Tony? It was Newbie Comics was collectibles, not comics. Newbie Comics collectibles was talking about what's the first Star Fox, and then International Comics Josh chimed in. This Nintendo Power 45. Now you'll notice, right? Star Fox is not on the cover. Now, kind of like deep diving in video games is like there's first mentions like we're all used to, but there's also first review of video game. That's kind of like intense collecting, right? But I thought it was interesting that it was a category that people are looking for. So evidently this Nintendo Power 45, and you can buy this for $13 on eBay right now, is the first mention appearance in the guts of Star Fox. Now, whether or not that's a big deal to you, I don't know, but I wanted to just kind of point it out there.
Yeah, because sometimes like magazines, the market for magazines don't be really making any sense because at the time that I was looking into like Art the Clown,
yeah,
the Fangoria version, which is not his first whatever, was more than any previous magazine he had been in or had been mentioned in. So like I don't really understand like the market of comics, or stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I mean, not
Yeah.
the market of magazines.
Yeah.
What were you
Yeah.
saying?
I mean, it's like there's like again, there's so many subjects you can kind of collect, right? And like especially with video games. I mean, like you're in a snatcher, so like like I found the first mention of Snatcher, and it's like literally this big of a mention in an America magazine,
Does it go
and
for
it
anything?
it goes for like $9.99. But again, it's like Snatcher's kind of like right. It's a very niche. Not a lot of people know what Snatcher is all about. And
I know a
and
person who's like a big Metal Gear fan, and they don't even know who Snatcher is.
yeah,
And I'm
see,
like, what,
like
like, what are you, a mook? Like, how do you, what, you fucking Momo? Like, how you a
how
big
do you
Metal Gear
not
fan?
know? How do you not know? And so like that's the thing, right? It's all about like education. Like I work in lending, so we're always about putting the word out there and saying like these are available programs. So with magazines and specifically because there's like so much kind of like possibilities, right? You really have to dig deep and see. And I think that's why the market's kind of confused, or not confused, but it's more like everyone just is like first cover with magazines, right? More so than they are with comic books. They don't really care so much about like the inside of like the actual magazine. But for me, I think it's just more interesting to have like the first mention of it because it's like it's hella random. And they even name it differently, like in some types of like articles and stuff. So anyway, so you can get the stuff really cheap if you just want to like learn about it or just be like, oh, cool, like open up this old Nintendo Power and there's the Star Fox if you're a big Star Fox fan. So anyway, I think I've talked about this in past shows, and I know I've mentioned this to you, Fedora, but this is the first Sonic in North America.
Hey,
American.
this
What's
this
that?
is a good book. This is a good book. This is it.
Yeah, and I do have this in a 7.0. I bought that 7.0 for $99. It's the highest grade on the census, probably because no one's grading this electronic gaming monthly. But I would say this is more of like a second appearance. I'll show you what the Sonic first appearance is in a little bit, but just kind of putting stuff out there where you could say like like with Pokemon Japanese, right? Like Japanese Pokemon just doesn't go for as much as like English Pokemon like here.
It did for like one summer.
Right. But for the majority of it, right, it's more so everyone just wants American versus like, Japanese. But that's just weird because obviously the card comes out in Japan first and then the English version is printed like months later. Am I right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. And I don't think that will ever change, will it?
No.
No. See, and so you could, if you're a collector and like the market again is very like new, you could have a different category of like first mention in American versus first mention period. And so that's where it can kind of get a little sketchy. But if you are interested, I mean, Sonic is a very popular, character.
In America, not in Japan.
In America. Okay, that's a good point. So in America, right? So, if you can't afford, let's say a Sonic 98 in a newsstand Canadian or whatever in a 9.8, I think it'd be pretty cool to have a first mention of him in American, media for $100. And it's so the article is basically about how there's a new game coming to America called Sonic the Hedgehog, and it was previewed at a convention in Japan 2 months prior to this magazine coming out. And it's like a half-page kind of deal, and that's it. So anyway, it's pretty cheap. I think people are more like this because of an earlier issue of Electronic Gaming Monthly, but Sonic is mentioned within the guts of this magazine. So, and this is a ghost that I found yesterday. This is Mega Fan Drive magazine number, I don't know, August 1990. Do you know who this is the first appearance of?
It better be Sonic because that's the only thing I can think of.
It is the first appearance of Sonic right here. So
I don't know. Oh shit!
I don't know if you can see. You can see.
I can see.
So I just bought this for $65 yesterday.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool, right? I mean, it's obviously in Japanese. I have an app that you can translate Japanese and American. It's basically like
was it one copy on eBay?
There is one more copy left. I think it's listed for 90. I offered 55 for the copy that I got, and the guy countered at 65, and I accepted. So it's not going to come till February. So
damn.
What I was talking about earlier in the chat, man, was like the foreign stuff, right? Like you're gonna pay tariff on it, so the tariff's probably gonna be like $11. It's gonna take forever to get to you because that's just I mean different country, right?
Mhm.
It's kind of hard. It's gonna be hard to tell like what the condition is gonna be, but we'll deal with it when it comes through. But it's still pretty. So it's a little difficult, right? Like first you have to figure out. I don't even know how to read Japanese or Turkish or whatever language it is,
Yeah,
right?
this is 2025. It don't even matter anymore, bro.
That's true. That's true, right? But like I found this. So I found this PDF online is what I'm sharing, and like it took me like it's page 76, bro.
I'm
And so like
laughing. I'm laughing for a different reason, not because of the
oh
music.
yeah. So I was reading the 76 pages, right? And yeah, sure enough, this is where it's at. So I thought, again, the cool thing about magazines, I would say too, is like if comics are pretty expensive, right? First appearance
Absolutely.
of Miles Morales is like what, or like the first Sonic, comic book, or even the first Zelda comic book is like $1,000 in a 9.8.
You know the guy who did the interior art as a customer at that's actually pretty funny.
What's that?
The guy who did the art for the first Zelda comic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he always wore a Zelda hat, and I'm like, why are you always wearing a Zelda hat? And he was just like, because I did the first comic, and I was like, oh.
Does he wear that everywhere he goes? So people ask him why he's wearing a Zelda hat.
It doesn't come up in conversation at all. I've seen him many times,
That's
and I think I was like the first person to ask him that.
Oh, really?
I just thought he was a big fan.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I mean, if I drew the first Zelda, no, I probably wouldn't wear a hat every day. But like, yeah, I mean, like that was legit. So anyway, yeah. So comics are pretty expensive, right? But I feel like I'd rather have the first mention, either in the guts or first cover, if that precedes like the comic book, right? And I'm about to show you Zelda first, right here. Now, technically, I believe this is the second like mention of Zelda like ever, but it's Japanese magazine. I waited 2 months for this magazine to come. It's pretty oversized. It's a beautiful Gundam, like kind of cover, and this is from like the 80s, bro. It's left-handed, right? So it's June 1985, I want to say. I don't know, but it comes with a poster. And again, I was on like deep dive trying to figure out stuff, but I was on a Reddit subpage, and I was trying to figure out like what's the first like appearance of Zelda, and they were kind of going back like Nintendo Fan Club number 3 is the first appearance cover of Zelda, right? But this magazine came out prior to, and I don't know if I can find it, but this is actually a conceptual drawing coming up. And there is another one prior. Oh, no. So here's Zelda. So this is the first Zelda.
Wait, hold on. I gotta let me blow the screen up. Oh, that actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah. So there's a magazine that precedes this. Okay. Now
but does it have that drawing in it?
Well, it has Zelda as Link because the publisher thought Zelda was a guy, because Zelda, it's not Link, it's Legend. It's not Legend of Link, it's Legend of Zelda. And so when they put the article out, they drew Zelda as a dude, which is kind of funny. I can't.
So shouldn't that be a lot of money?
Well, here's the thing. I can't find a copy of it anywhere. And it's a small strip, and so there's been, when I read on the Reddit subgroup is like, oh, that's just like a mistake. That's not really worth anything. It's not technically Zelda's like first.
Are you kidding? Are you fucking kidding?
I mean,
that's like an error.
Yeah, right. Oh, but this is the reason. This is the real reason why I got it. Okay, so this is particular to the game, not so much Zelda, but Zelda. The first Zelda. So, dude, check this out. Hold on, let me see if I can get it better. Okay, well, I'll just show you. Somebody drew a map of the whole game. So this is a map of Zelda. It's on 3 different pages.
That's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah. So when I was trying to figure out, do I want this particular magazine, or would I rather have like the first error, Zelda? Well, I just did a process of elimination. I can't find that other one. But I just got that literally 2 weeks or while I was gone in the Philippines, showed to my door. But yeah, man, I like I'm stoked. I mean, I think that's a nice get, like for sure. Of like, what would you rather have this or the first like Zelda comic book from Valiant that came out like 6 years later? You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Oh
that's
man. Oh
hard.
okay.
That's
Really?
hard for me. Yeah, that's hard.
Okay. Well,
That's
I
hard.
mean, teach his own, man. So I'm not trying to convince you one way or the other, but would you rather pay $1,000 for a 9.8 of the first Valiant Zelda,
Absolutely not.
or would you rather pay like $100 for something like this that's not on the cover, but in the guts? See,
I I
that's kind of the
I
difference,
think
right?
I would go for the error.
Yeah, I
'Cause
would too. I would too. I can't find
that's
it.
so cool. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
it's
Like they
kind of a cool
fucked
story,
up.
right? Yeah.
Like they fucked up.
Now, here's another question for you. Would you grade it because it's in the guts, or would you keep it like just kind of open or whatever? See, it's a tough one, right?
I mean, I would say I wouldn't grade it unless I had to. Unless magazines were at the point where we were grading shit and doing shit.
Because it's not
Um,
there, right? I
yeah.
mean, I bought that magazine for 115, 110. It's not in the best condition, but it's probably a solid 8.0,
Mhm,
of a 30, almost 40-year-old magazine, right?
mhm.
So again, like the collectability, like as far as value is concerned, it's not there yet. And I think there's a little bit of like, well, why would I grade something that's inside of the book? It's not on the cover. But nonetheless, I think that's pretty cool, right? It's pretty cool stuff. So, um,
I mean, people grade the first appearance of fucking Rogue.
exactly, and that's kind of the same kind of concept, right? It's a really
Yeah,
that cover though. I mean,
that cover's hideous.
the one here.
No, 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 no.
Oh,
Of the Rogue.
I know, one of the worst first appearance covers ever. This is a Fedora Con special, but Carpe Noctem. I did have this book. I bought this during the pandemic, and I think I broke even when I sold it. I was just kind of getting rid of stuff, but this actually showed up again on a sale. 250 for a near mint. Like, but I can, for one, I don't know if you've ever had a copy of this, but it's the first appearance of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. Um, it's the cover is like cardboard almost, like kind of it's just really thick paper. So I mean, it's spine tick like friendly for sure. Have you ever seen this magazine like in person before?
No. I would say like I think that now. I mean, I knew this was gonna happen. But
Mhm.
essentially, the reason why I even looked it up was because the 2000s are coming back.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
funny.
when we're talking about like people wearing mermots, the fashion from like hip
Oh
hop
yeah.
to alternative punk skaters to the way rap music is starting to sound like the 2000s decade is it seems like it's coming back.
Hmm.
And I'm starting to see a lot of kids come into the shop with not a lot but enough for me to take note, like gloomy bear hats. There's younger kids that know who Invader Zim is. People are asking for, I forgot the creator, I think it's like Jamie something.
Hmm.
Um, they're asking for like other works of his. People are asking for like one other book that he did. And we used to have a lot of copies of it and nobody cared about it.
Hmm.
And we went from like 5 copies to like 0. So they send us 1 copy in from time to time.
Hmm.
Um, so I would say that like, you know, the 2000s is coming back, but I'm not sure like how big Invader Zim uh will have a resurgence. It might not, but it's definitely interesting to see.
Yeah. Do you guys ever get like stacks of magazines that come through the shop? I know obviously Midtown's like comic books, but do you guys ever get other media like that?
We used to have like a lot of magazines at one point.
Yeah.
Like when I was going there like 15, 16 years ago, this dates back when I was like a customer.
Hmm.
We used to get there was like a whole magazine rack.
Yeah.
Now we don't really get magazines like that anymore. We'll get
Huh.
maybe like a few important ones, like we'll get one about filmography or like videography, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll get like the graphic designing monthly, quarterly, or whatever the hell. Like we get very little, like Cosmopolitan and shit like that.
Yeah.
So we don't really get many anymore. Fangoria is like the only one, and Mad Magazine are the only two that like people asked for, and it's not
Yeah.
regularly.
Yeah. I would say like Mad Magazine. Like I don't think I'd ever get a Mad Magazine anything, and I've looked at it just like, oh, I wonder if there's like weird Mad Magazine like fans out there, and it
It's
just doesn't go
Taurus.
for anything. Yeah.
Taurus are always like super into it. I don't know
Oh.
what their deal is with Mad Magazine. It's very weird. When they see Mad Magazine, they go, "Whoa!"
Huh. Yeah. I don't. I've never liked that magazine at all. Thinking about just random stuff, like I think highlights would be a big thing for me. The little kid magazine I used to read at the dentist, but um, the other thing I think would be cool too is like the Source. I mean, that's still like I've like Source XXL, like those, like
Vibe.
still, yeah, a vibe. Just because the covers were so sick anyway, it didn't even really like for me. It wasn't like so much like. And the articles actually were really good. Like, there's really good writers with those old hip hop
I
magazines.
think the most expensive one was the Punisher Eminem.
Was that from a magazine?
I think it's double XL.
Oh, okay.
I think the guy that wrote it is a customer. He might have been a customer at. I think he's a customer. I'm not too sure, but his name is Rob Markman. He's a hip hop journalist.
Yeah.
And he was actually there the day that we met. I could get it wrong. It's either he did the Flatbush Zombies comic or he wrote the Eminem and Punisher. I can't really remember, but that one's the most expensive hip hop magazine.
Oh, for sure.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah, yeah. I know like the one with the Death Row, like with like Suge and Tupac and Dre and Snoop Dogg, where they're all wearing like turtlenecks and it's like a black silhouette. I know that one goes for pretty big, and then like any of the Eminem covers. I like the LL Cool J cover because that just brings you back to back in the day. But
that was the Vibe one with Biggie when Biggie was.
That one's a big one too. I remember the Suge Knight Source magazine where he's like got the red and he's got the big ass cigar in his mouth. I thought the Source was tight. Going back to things that are a little bit more easy, I guess, to like if you buy one for a good price and just grade it, it'll always sell. Jordan's king when it comes to like anything magazines or whatever. What's up, Mojo Verse? Long time no see, bro. We're almost done with the slides today, but check out the rewind and just trying to put the knowledge out there for everyone that's interested in magazine collecting. But this one was a newsstand. So again, if you're wondering about if newsstands do well, it's Derek. It's newsstands for sure. 1,000 for this book and a 9.2, which I think it's a great cover. It's a tough 9 point whatever. So $1,000 makes sense to me. I've seen a 9.8 go for like as high as $3 to $4 or $5 grand, which is crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Just because
this is not his first appearance. Like this is just a late 80s like Sports Illustrated, which I thought was crazy. Jordan, anything like 90s, 80s, whether it's a basketball card or a magazine and it's like in okay condition, like grab it. I'm sure I've seen Golden's one good resource too. For the MJs, man, they have a man. I have a magazine from 1936. I can absolutely have no information about sending it to CG. I mean, you might as well try it, man. Why not? Problem is, there's so many covers to choose from. Yeah, but here's the thing, they're liquid because everyone freaking loves Jordan up to this day.
They're like the Charizards of like
they kind of are the Charizards
like basketball. Like it's literally like when people go, should I buy this Charizard? Should I grade a like any Charizard is worth grading?
Yeah.
Any Charizard is worth buying. Any Jordan is worth grading, and any Jordan is worth buying.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're like trying to figure out, okay, what should I collect in like, magazines, I just want to get into it. I have the first appearance of Michael Jordan. I've talked about in my shows in the previous. I have his first appearance in a magazine, not on cover. and I bought it for $45. It's a list of the roster of the McDonald's All-Americans from the year that Jordan was in high school, and he's
That's
right in the
crazy.
middle. It's a cool cover, or it's a cool comic. The cover though is Isaiah Thomas winning the national championship for Indiana.
That's also crazy.
It's pretty cool, right? I have 2 copies of it. I still have them. I bought them like 3 or 4 years ago. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's the closer he is to the Jumpman pose, the more valuable. Yeah, that's for sure. I think my last slide I have here, I'm not sure. Real quick, I just want to thank everyone for you only got 5 in the chat today. I know a little small, but again, this was just more like I could have just done like a regular video, but I want to do something a little more fun and more interactive and just have an excuse to hang out with my boy again on a weeknight. I know you're busy. It's probably cold as hell in New York because it's close out.
I got the FedEx jacket on. You already know.
You already know. Oh, this is kind of my newer kind of thing, right? So again, nowadays physical media is like dying, right? Unless it's absolute Batman, which there's printing like ton of it, you know, for good reason. But the demand's there, man. Supply and demand, right? However, I cannot find this particular Time magazine anywhere. It's K-pop Demon Hunters, Time magazine, breakthrough performance of the year kind of thing, right?
Yo, if I was Sony, I would have fucking fired whoever the fuck. Did you hear how that movie came to be?
No. Tell me about it.
So the people who did Into the Spider-Verse made K-pop Demon Hunter for Sony, and then, or I guess they had it or whatever, and then Sony watched it, and the executives were like, "This isn't gonna work, so let's just sell it to let's
Netflix?
sell it." And then they went to Netflix and they're like, "Yo, you want to buy this? We're having a fire sale." And then I guess Netflix was like, "Yeah, I'll take it for like 1 or 2 million, or like the whatever it costs to make, we'll take it off your hands." And then they released it. They chopped it up, edited it, released it, and then boom.
It's good, man. I've seen it a few times. I mean, like the crazy thing was, I remember during Halloween, like there were little girls like dressed up as K-pop Demon Hunters, and like old like ladies dressed up as K-pop Demon Hunters. So it just hit like, you know, wherever. Time magazine is popular for PSA grading due to color match. Huh. Okay, I can agree with that. As much as I hate PSA, I can agree with that. But dude, have you seen this particular Time magazine?
Nah, anywhere? we don't sell Time magazine, and there's only very few places that sell it in New York City. I'd say like CVS, Walgreens, some 7-Elevens might have it, depending.
Okay.
But the most common thing is like
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Nobles. But the most common physical media that you could find anywhere is newspapers. So New York Times, New York Post.
Sure, yeah.
There was this one New York Post newspaper that was going crazy during the New York City election.
Oh yeah, Mom Donnie.
Yeah. That one, that was a hard cover though. That was hard, bro. People were selling it for like $200-300. I was like, what the fuck?
Man, I wonder how much it goes for now.
Probably nothing.
Yeah. Here's the thing too about like magazine, like hunting. Nowadays, it's so much easier with like ChatGPT and like Google's like AI, because it feeds through like Reddit subgroups and just finds it for you, and you can like back check and like kind of fact check stuff with that too. But I think this is a good like pickup. Blue Green Artifacts, he's in the chat. He had mentioned it, and I'm like, oh, this makes sense, man. It's like, one, it's a newer media is going away, right? And then 2, this particular issue, it's multiple covers. So there's 12 other like covers of this Time magazine.
I second the Marilyn Monroe.
I'd rather have the Marilyn Monroe Time mag. Agreed. The only reason I put this one out was like I just want to throw like a modern magazine out there. But yeah, that Marilyn Monroe Time magazine. The Playboy one, though, I think is the Marilyn magazine to get. And that's on her first appearance. I guarantee you Marilyn Monroe's first like mention is probably like nothing. Or it might be, I mean, I don't even know if that Marilyn Manson's first appearance is the Playboy, but I would think that's like a top 10 magazine of all time, right? So, but anyway, K-pop
and the Nat Geo.
The Nat Geo?
The one.
Oh, the National Geographic. The eyes, yeah. That's a good one. Man, that's like, yeah, that's another top. Man, it'd be cool to like get a roundtable like top 10 events magazines of all time and stuff, and see what the correlation of the price is worth. I know the first Sports Illustrated #1's like I mean, that's the one like a staple like
When
grail.
Trump was about to get mopped and then he put his fist up.
that one for like $100, man. Yeah. That
But I
one.
mean, the 20 years from now, like somebody like might pay a ridiculous amount and a 9.8 for it.
Yeah, for sure.
If
But
I'm putting
it's
my speculation hat on.
gotta put the spec hat on. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
that's the list I got for you guys. Well, that was pretty fun. You know, again, like for me, I don't do a lot of like the sports stuff is not really a huge thing unless it's like Jordan or like Tiger Woods. Like those are like probably my two, or like Ichiro. I had like a first Shohei like article, which is pretty cool. But like for me, just because I like to pair it with my other collectibles, like I have Blastoise, like, you know, PSA magazine. It's not going to be worth anything. Or like my Breath of the Wild magazine that I busted out earlier. That's going to go along with my Master Edition that I'm getting great at VGA right now. And then just like it's just fun to kind of hunt and kind of do your own research. And I do have, if you're in the Discord, ask me. I do have a spreadsheet that lists off like the first appearances of like anything I can think of, or just like first events. Feel free to add to it or fact check me and just say, hey, this is actually like, this is where the first Japanese appearance was, or whatever. Just because like comics are like, they're great. I just don't, it's like, I don't want to pay for a first appearance of, I don't know, like Kate Bishop for $400, where I could get like, for $80, I could get the first appearance of Zelda. You know
what? Yeah. It's not just you. Everybody feels like that about comics. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, it's not as exciting for a lot of people anymore, but it's exciting for me because I get to buy this shit in a fire sale. Yeah, because
sure.
a lot of these guys have all these big keys and things like that. So like, I guess a lot of them are chasing like other shit.
Yeah.
And so now people are moving on to magazines. They're moving on to all this other crazy shit. Sealed video games. Your guys already know I got the Punisher for PS2 sealed. It was a Christmas gift. You know, so no, I totally get you, and the market reflects that, because now I'm seeing there was one customer who used to come in a lot, and he was like kind of getting into comics, but he was just like, nah, man, like I started collecting magazines now. So, yeah.
And it's like with magazines, like you can kind of like, we were looking at like first appearance of Taylor Swift. It's a Vanity Fair magazine with Ronald Reagan on the cover, and
how much is it?
Like $15.
Oh, that's not bad.
But the article, or with the first appearance, it's a photo of her on an Abercrombie and Fitch ad.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and if you look, you could buy the magazine and just tear out the page and get that framed. That's her first app, which is kind of cool.
I don't know about all that. You tearing shit up like you. Like...
You could. It's up to you, man. You know, but like, so it's like it's a different. You obviously you would never do that to a comic book, right? Because that'd be stupid. But like, magazines kind of like, I don't know. Like if I bought it for $11, I just could buy 2 copies and rip one out and just see what the market says. So it's, again, the market for magazines is very like, it's small and very segmented. And it's really hard to say like, oh, collect video games or collect like that first Nintendo Power with Pokemon comic book inside. Like that goes for a lot of money because everybody wants the serrated comic book inside. But it's weird because like that Sonic that I just bought the other day. I mean, it's literally the first mention of Sonic with like the emblem and everything. It's $65. This Japanese like foreign magazine that's almost 40 years old. It's crazy.
$65 is still a lot more than I anticipated it to be for a Japanese comic. I mean, a Japanese magazine. Yeah.
Yeah. But what's the first like Sonic the Hedgehog? About the same, right? Or maybe a little bit higher.
The comic.
Yeah, and it came out what 10 years after
The,
Sonic came
the
out, right?
the comic was like a promotional.
Yeah,
It's like
promotional
it was
something
like a
something.
mini book. It was like a mini
Yeah,
book that goes for a fuck ton of money in like a 9,
yeah,
or at least it did during the pandemic. But
sure,
everything
sure.
was going for a lot of money in the pandemic. So I don't
Yeah,
know what the market on it is
is that crazy? The pandemic was like almost 5 years ago, like the
now.
height of the pandemic, like
Yo, bro,
2021. It's
that's
weird to think,
crazy.
man. Yeah, I keep getting these like 5 years ago, like kind of like posts, like, and it's like right before pandemic hit. And I'm like, oh shit, I know. I remember I was Super Bowl. I was watching the Super Bowl right before the pandemic hit.
Yo, bro,
Shit like that. It's weird.
it was a crazy time for collectibles, and I kind of feel like the reason why we're experiencing this surge in shit is because the pandemic put a lot of people on
Hmm.
to collectibles. It put a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, a lot of people got burned.
Yeah,
Like you got burned, I got burned. We only got burned once, and not big, because you
yeah,
broke even, right?
yeah.
I'm
I would
I'm
say, yeah. I mean, I'm all right. Whatever. It was
I'm
fun.
still I'm still holding on to my Iron Fist 14. I got Chris Claremont to sign it.
Yeah, I
So
saw that. I
yeah,
mean, I
so
don't think that's like I'm holding on to. I mean, that's like your love for
yes,
like whatever. Now, if you're holding on to Black Panther #3, 1 in 25, Tori and Clark, there's some you got like separation issues. You know what I mean? Like that. That's a little different.
yo,
You know.
can we find out who got the $1,200 sale, and can we interview him on the show?
I mean, I know who sold it for 1,200, $1,300, but I don't know who bought it.
Can we?
I
Can
don't know
you?
how you buy it, man. I have
Yo,
no
I like
idea.
listen. If you could ask the guy who sold it, we could get him on the show,
Oh my god, dude.
and then we could get him
There's
on the show, and we could get the guy who bought it on the show, and we'll have four people. We'll have like a round table discussion, like, yo, like, did you know you was about to beat this guy over the head? And then we can get the other guy, like, what happened? Like, what was your thought when you saw the price going down? And do you still own it?
oh god, yeah, dude.
Yeah, yo, bro, we have to. Or like, yo, on God, that'll be the best show. I won't even say anything. I don't
You
need
just
to
let
say
it
anything.
organically just fucking go, right?
Yeah, bro, because like no introduction, just let it rip right there,
Yo,
like bomb.
hey, so check this out. If you okay, let's say like you were the dude that sold the book to him for 1,400. Like, would you feel like bad,
Fuck
or would you be
no,
like, okay, so
no.
okay, better question for you. What if you were the dude that bought the book from the dude and he was on the show? Like, what would you say?
Oh, I'd I'd be like, yo, stick your head in an oven, brother. Like, I don't even know how do you, how why would you think Tosin was gonna be the next, bro? Like, this was crazy to me. I had
Yeah,
to go, like, it was like they really thought he was gonna show up in Black Panther 3, bro, or
yeah.
4, or like
It
they were
was a
gonna put him in the
combination.
movie.
It was a perfect storm of combination, and like that's when social media just like really like clicked like in my head, like, oh shit, stuff like travels fast, especially like we're all home, right? But
Mhm.
like that article came out, the comic came out the next week. I'll just say this, like I know we both, present company included, like we hate on like certain comic books and stuff, but I was looking on some social medias.
Don't
And,
say, because I already know what you're gonna say. I
I
already know
oh
what you
I don't
was
know if
gonna
you do. I don't know if you do, but I saw like some people saying like, yeah, like basically saying like, oh, it was comics is such a dirty like business and blah blah, and this is why like I'm leaving, and I thought to myself, homie, you were one of the people.
Oh,
Like why
oh,
are
I
you
thought you
so
were talking about the
righteous?
CBSI Facebook group.
It wasn't the CBSI guys because like they're
No, no,
still doing their thing, but
I know who you're talking about. I know who
yeah,
you're talking about.
yeah.
I know
I
who
don't
you're
I
talking
actually
about.
don't even remember who I am talking about,
Oh,
but
so then
it's
so
kind of
I
like
don't
if
even
you
know.
if you felt bad for it, like sure. Do I feel that like I may have quote unquote swindled people, or I don't think I swindled people because I was drinking the same
You
Kool-Aid at the time.
you sold it for what it was worth at that time.
And I was I'm like, rest in peace to oh shoot, home dude that did the the Asian dude that did the show on Tuesdays, but he would always set his prices at like $1 start, and then just let the market decide. And I think at the time that's kind of like the only way you could like justify like selling high prices. Like I never like really set like a buy it now price and blah blah blah. We're kind of going down a deep road, but like I mean I'll just say this, like it wasn't just comic books, it wasn't just sports cars, it was everything was going crazy, man. I mean houses were going for high, it was anything related. I would say this though, NFTs are dead. Like they died like 2 years ago. That was the biggest like freaking haul ever. I was never really like, I understood like, okay, this kind of makes sense and this kind of collectible, but fuck, man, like that was a bad like thing. I do think I would say that the Ken Golden stuff, like the thing now with like collectibles is now being an asset class. I mean, I think it's a little bit scary to like make that call, but it's hard to argue with like the consistency of like, well, I can't afford a Monet. I'm never gonna buy a fucking Monet ever in my life, but I'll sure as hell buy a fucking first Charizard or like or a first One Piece. That'll be the closest I have to Monet. Or I can't afford a Rolex watch, but I'll get it first.
I'll get this hot toy.
Yeah, I'll get this Snatcher. I'll get that sealed Snatcher though. You know what I'm saying? Like
I've never seen one sealed.
Yeah, and that's your Monet. But there's enough people, right, in that same kind of like category to be like, I want that Monet too. And so that's why it's an asset class. I think the only question you really have to ask yourself, and this is why I think magazines are so like, this is kind of my like whatever. This is why I think magazines are pretty cool, is that you could really, if you take the time to really like research and then talk about it with like us, or like just join shows and just kind of put a word out there, the market will create itself. And I mean, I think there's potential $2 Monets out there that for right now are only going for $2.
Well, you also have to consider 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, who the fuck in their right mind was like, yo, this Rolling Stone magazine with Clay Aiken on the cover, yeah. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna encapsulate it and put a number on it, and then I'm gonna sell it for $1,000. Nobody was thinking that, bro.
Yeah.
The first American Idol winner, Kelly Clarkson, on the cover of Vanity Fair, Cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
Like nobody was thinking that at the time.
Yeah.
So whatever you're probably buying, a lot of these magazines are probably low scarcity. Like you probably, like, they're all gone. They're all like burnt up in a landfill somewhere.
Yeah. That's the other thing too, right? I mean, I was in college in like, early 2000s, right? And I remember I was in a fraternity, so like, everyone had like magazines out, and everyone had subscription to like, here's something stupid. They talk about like Clay Aiken or whatever. But dude, I don't know if you're old enough. Did you ever have like eBay catalogs that came?
Yes,
like,
the sneaker catalog. Yes, I used to steal it from somebody who had a subscription when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I just used to look at the sneakers.
Yeah, man. I looked at a copy of an eBay like article or magazine from the early 2000s. They're $55 fucking bucks, man, and that thing is trash. And I don't know how many of those fuckers I would sit, taking a deuce, and just read it. Right. Same with like the Source and Vibe magazines,
WWE magazines. We spoke about WWE magazines
still
before the first mention of Bret Hart. Remember
I probably could have put 55 different magazines on this list today, but here's the other thing too. I'll preface this and then we can roll out or whatever. Talk about there's gold up in those hills, but the thing is like I don't know what I'm looking at too, so it's a harder kind of like, it's not as easy as like comics, because comics are like what, 32 pages. A magazine could be 108, it could be at least 100 pages, right? So you have to really like know what to look for. You can go down so many routes, you may kind of be overwhelmed. So I would recommend like at least save money and like headspace. Pick a segment that you're passionate about. Pick a segment that you really like. You don't care if it doesn't go up in price, but you really want that collectible. And that's kind of how I've approached it. And I found the value in that regard. So you're gonna say something?
No, I mean I was gonna say that like magazines are really hard. So you definitely, yeah. I like to add on to what you were gonna say. Like you
Yeah.
really gotta when people say buy what you like, and I I I hate when people say buy
I
what you like,
fucking hate
because
that
at the
shit.
end of the day,
I hate
at
that.
the end of the day, like we're in a weird economy. When people buy something physical, they want to know that they could sell it at any
Yeah.
given moment.
Yeah.
But when it comes to something that, like, we're not even there's no ground level, there's no foundation on this. We're like, you know how, like, when you find a planet with life on it, but it's not inhabited, like that's what magazines are.
That's a
so
fucking.
so so
It's like buying. It's like living on Saturn. That's what magazines are at.
exactly.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Exactly. So you really gotta buy what you. This is the only time I'm gonna say this. You really gotta buy what you like.
You really because you own that. You know what I mean? But here's the thing too. On to kind of like preface that too, is that you there's not a huge buy-in for the stuff that you like, right? Because the magazine, I would say this: Nintendo, Pokemon, like
Fangoria to an extent.
yeah, those are pretty expensive, right? You're gonna spend some money there. And older like Time magazines, stuff like that. But if
WWE
you
magazines not so much.
yeah, and they're kind and like the Ream magazine, there's not a lot of boxing like fans out there.
Oh, we did
So
speak about this before.
oh yeah, for sure. I just haven't really leveraged enough into magazines or like done a live show, because I kind of fell off a little bit in collecting. I've just been busy with work, but uh, uh, when I kind of got back to it over the holidays, because I was in the airport in the Philippines, and I was thinking about like magazines, and I was jet lagged, and I was just like researching a bunch of shit. Um, the other thing too is like once you find out what that first appearance is and you think it's like pretty legit, you can put on your eBay like watch list and you can negotiate prices for this stuff, man. The other thing I would say is like, a lot of these magazines, there's a pretty big like, at least especially Japanese, they have copies of PDFs, so like you can actually verify whether or not it
Yeah,
is a
I
first.
I when you say PDF, I can't.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you.
No, because
I
that's
know.
what they call chomos.
What's a chomo?
Oh my god. I'll tell you off the air. I
Okay.
don't I don't want them to take us down off of YouTube.
Whatever, man. We got 1,000 subs. It's not even a big deal. I don't even trip. It's all good. All right. Well, with that said, I appreciate Fedora coming through. Return of the con. We'll
Yo,
try and do these.
I'm
What's that?
gonna try and buy that before I leave. Two
Yeah.
things. I sold my PSA 10 Japanese Greninja to a
Oh
buddy
yeah.
of mine for 375.
Uh-huh.
And then I used the money to buy the first Gambit in
Hey,
9.8.
man. That's a great. I love that. I love that get. I don't give a shit what Channing Tatum does with the character. Gamma will always be my favorite X-Men of all time.
But you know
That's
what was crazy? You know what's crazy? I wanted to see what, like, Pokemon people thought and what comic book people thought.
oh
And when I posted it on the Pokemon Reddit, there was like 3 people that was like, "Yo, I like that play," but
uh-huh.
the rest of the people were like, "Why would you do that?" And then when I went on the comic book one,
Yeah.
it was weird because on the comic book Reddit, a lot of people were more like, they were a little bit more nicer about it. Well, they were a lot more nicer about it, and like a lot of people didn't really know what to make of the trade.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people were more or less like, "Yeah, you did a great job." So the comic book people were like, "Fuck yeah," and then the Pokemon people were like, "What's wrong with you?" And then I think the admins at the comic book collecting Reddit took it down. Fuck you, right? And then they were like, "Oh, this is speculation," and I'm like, "How the fuck is this speculation? I'm just saying that I sold a card and I
Yeah.
bought it. What do you think of it? It was a trade. I
Yeah.
was speculating."
Yeah. I mean, you're flipping. Or you're not even flipping. It's you're trading. Yeah, you're trading. I mean, that's
I
very
I
common.
trade. Yeah, it was, I don't know. Like they were dumb, but
Yeah.
like the comment, it was weird because the Pokemon people supported the Pokemon collectible aspect,
Yeah.
and the comic book people supported the comic book aspect to it. So I don't know what to make of the trade.
I mean, I would say this, like, you're trading. Like, I'm not a huge Pokemon fan, but like I would say when it comes down to it, like Blastoise is like my favorite Pokemon. So, and I don't even know Gallardos very well, so I know he's like a good Pokemon, but like Gyarados. So, see, I don't even know how to pronounce the name. So, like, to me, that's just like it's like my trash is another man's treasure for someone else's trash. That's my treasure. That's how I would view it. You know what I'm saying? So, but then $400 for a 9.8, even though it's not newsstand, like that's still great, dude. Because like that'll hold its value forever, regardless.
Yeah,
you know?
I think so too. I think because right now Avengers Doomsday is like the hot topic, so I guess Channing Tatum is gonna come back, and I think to some extent Gambit will come back because he's Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean I don't know. Like I didn't care for the card.
Mm-hmm.
I bought like a box of Japanese cards for $65. This was before the market exploded.
Sure.
I was at like a Pokemon hobby shop. I bought it because it was the cheapest thing. This is when the market was starting to go crazy, when Prismatic had just been brand spanking new. So you know what? Let me buy these cards. Let's see what happens. I bought it. I pulled the big card, and then I sent it in with my buddy to get graded. It came back a PSA 10, and then I wanted to get rid of it, but my buddy was like, "Yo, I'll buy it off of you."
Yeah.
Because 2026 is around the corner. It's gonna be the 30th anniversary. Pokemon is gonna go crazy. So he was just like, I could potentially make money off that. And then because the market for it was 340, and he was like, look, I'll do you one better. I'll give you an extra 35 on top of it, so you don't put it on eBay, and let me hold on to it. Because and he said like, I'm confident that this is gonna go up.
Sure.
And I was like, all right. I mean, I don't give a shit. So
yeah. And you're just trying to get whatever you can get out of it. That's cool.
Yeah, and then I was trying to get the Gambit as quickly as possible, because if this fucking schmuck shows up on any Doomsday trailer, you know, and then everything goes up, and then it's like whatever.
Yeah.
So, but that was my thought.
No,
Also,
I mean it's cool.
The CBSI Facebook group, if you're viewing it, you gotta go. It's totally funny. It's totally hilarious. People posting dumb shit. There's like 30 posts about Absolute Batman in there.
Did you see my dumbass post?
I did.
People are so just it's like the nerds, not even nerds, the geeks that were geeks in high school, and then they come on and they like think they have this knowledge, and then you say like a dumb joke that makes no sense to them, and they come back with like corny ass like 1940s like sucker joke to you, and they think they're being funny, and then you just say the same shit to them.
It's like hundreds of comic book guys from The Simpsons.
Yes, dude.
And they're all like trying to one up each other.
I know. And I'm like, the shit I say doesn't even make any sense. So I can't get kicked out for trolling. If anything, I can just get kicked out for not making sense. And I absolutely love it. But anyway,
that group is like, so what I do when I'm speculating in comics, I'll post a comic that I'm speculating on, and I do the complete opposite of what they say. and on God, it works every time. It works every time. I'm like, so you're saying not to buy this? I'll buy 10.
I'll buy 17 copies. Thank you.
It always works.
It's a great resource if you want to try and flip stuff. You know,
yes,
you know what I mean?
So it is. But anyways, Ferd.
All right, peace out. Thanks again, brother. I'll see you around. Have a good day. Everyone, take care.